Pay attention to the man in the Deadpool costume seen in broad daylight on a college campus. For 2 weeks, he stalked 21-year-old Lauren McCluskey. On October 22, 2018, Lauren vanished without a trace. 9 days earlier, she reported receiving threatening texts to campus police, but her 14 calls went unheeded. On October 9th, security footage showed Lauren meeting her boyfriend, Sean Fields, whom she intended to break up with that day. Sean Fields wasn't his real name. Despite the mystery, Lauren left clues exposing the man in the Deadpool costume, ensuring the truth about her disappearance would come to light.
He was a predator, manipulator.
Very skilled at getting what he wanted.
Someone who you shouldn't believe a word of what they say.
In 2013, Lauren lives with her caring parents, Matthew and Jill, in the small town of Pullman, Washington. She enjoys a happy childhood, excels in school, and has a tight-knit circle of friends.
She was the kind of friend that you could rely on. It wouldn't matter the time or the day. If you needed someone to talk to, Lauren would be there for you.
From a young age, Lauren displayed a remarkable talent and enthusiasm for sports. Her speed and agility amazed her parents, showcasing her natural abilities early on.
Lauren was just athletic from the very beginning. She could climb trees at 2 years old and she had no fear. She was pure determination.
With her parents' encouragement, Lauren pursued her passion for sports and discovered a talent for track and field at just 10 years old. She earned second place at the USA Junior Olympics, and by high school graduation, the University of Utah had awarded her a scholarship for her excellence. In September 2015, Lauren and her parents arrived at the bustling Salt Lake City campus, home to over 20,000 students. Though her parents were anxious about leaving their only daughter so far from their small town, Lauren's confidence and maturity helped her quickly forge new friendships, including with her new best friend, Alex.
We were roommates our freshman year, and we became instant friends.
Over the next 3 years, Lauren continued to thrive. She remained dedicated and determined, excelling in her studies, track events, and spending time with her close friends.
Her eyes lit up when she talked.
Super smart. You didn't just see her as an athlete. She was a comedian. She's also a dancer.
She did extremely well. She was very excited about graduating.
On the night of September 1st, 2018, as Lauren embarked on her final year of college, her life took a dramatic turn. Recently turned 21, she decided to celebrate with her best friend, Alex, during a bustling Saturday night in downtown Salt Lake City. The streets and bars were alive with students enjoying the nightlife. Lauren and Alex headed to the London Bell, a popular bar known for its live music and dancing, just 15 minutes from their dorm. At the entrance, they were greeted by the bouncer, a tall, friendly man who introduced himself as Sean Fields before allowing them inside.
I remember him being very huge, very big muscles. Throughout the night, he would come back and pass through and stop and talk to us a few times.
At midnight, after a night of fun, Lauren and Alex decide it's time to head home to rest for their upcoming study sessions. As Lauren approaches the bar's exit, she feels a hand on her shoulder. It's Sean, the handsome bouncer she's been exchanging glances with all evening. They chat briefly, and before parting ways, he asks her out.
She gave him her number and they made plans to go on a date later that day.
At midnight, after a night of fun, Lauren and Alex decide it's time to head home to rest for their upcoming study sessions. As Lauren approaches the bar's exit, she feels a hand on her shoulder. It's Sean, the handsome bouncer she's been exchanging glances with all evening. They chat briefly, and before parting ways, he asks her out.
It sounded sort of old-fashioned, the way that he was paying attention to her. He took her out for dinner and bought her flowers and asked her to be his girlfriend.
She clearly seemed very happy about her relationship.
It started off really good, like a fairy tale.
Soon, Lauren's close friends began to notice troubling signs in her new relationship, suggesting that it wasn't as perfect and loving as it initially appeared.
She said he told me to wear a t-shirt and jeans, so that's why I'm wearing this.
Her friends grow concerned as they see the independent Lauren they know begin to question her every decision. Sean's affection now appears more obsessive and controlling, with constant harassment through texts and calls that Lauren always answers, seemingly afraid of the consequences of ignoring him.
Why do you have to answer your phone when that person calls? And she's like, they really want me to answer my phone right away because they just want to make sure where I'm at, what I'm doing, and if I'm okay.
A few weeks into their relationship, Sean begins to spend all his time with Lauren, essentially living with her on campus. He befriends other students in her dorm, allowing him to move freely through the building without a key card. Lauren grows increasingly withdrawn and exhausted, and her friends notice she no longer seems like herself.
We noticed she was tired. She seemed stressed. You could tell, at least physically in her face, that she was going through emotionally a lot with the relationship. This guy is literally not good for her.
On October 1st, 1 month after Lauren met Sean, things take a disturbing turn when Sean tells her he wants to give her something for her protection, a loaded military-grade pistol.
We would just tell her, no, you don't need it. Your safety is fine. If anything, he's compromising your safety.
When Lauren's friends learn that her boyfriend wants to give her a gun, they promptly inform Diamond, the resident assistant and a fellow student in the university's housing department. They explain the troubling details of the new relationship and express their concerns for Lauren's safety.
She's not hanging out with us as much. He's talking about getting her a gun, and then that's when it had passed the point of, oh, this is harmless gossip. I called my first supervisor and asked her, what some steps did you want me to take? Do you want me to call the police?
Surprisingly, Diamond isn't instructed to contact the authorities, but is instead asked to email university security with details about the escalating situation. On October 2nd, just a day after the unsettling gift, campus security receives the first concerning email about Sean Fields. The email raises alarms about Lauren possibly being in a dangerous relationship, Sean's frequent presence on campus, his potential acquisition of a weapon, and suspicions that he might be tracking Lauren's movements. Despite the seriousness of the concerns, days pass without a response to Diamond's email. Then, on October 9th, Lauren makes a shocking discovery. She finds Sean's ID card, but the name and birth date are incorrect, and the photo only matches a 37-year-old man named Melvin Rowland. Determined to uncover the truth, Lauren begins to investigate online to find out who her boyfriend really is.
She and a friend found a picture that looked like him that was a sex offender.
And I was like, are you 100% sure it could be this person? Based on what I was reading online, that was a really hard offense.
Lauren uncovers that the name Sean Fields is entirely fictitious, while Melvin Rowland is a real person with a disturbing criminal record. Her quick online search reveals his history of second and third-degree felonies, including enticing a minor over the internet, attempted forcible sexual abuse, and repeated parole violations, which have led to multiple incarcerations. She also discovers that her so-called boyfriend is currently on parole.
We were coming up with a plan for how she should break up with him.
Late on the evening of October 9th, Lauren waits anxiously for Melvin to arrive at her dorm, determined to end their relationship after learning about his criminal history. When he arrives and enters her room, she gathers all her courage to confront him with the details she's uncovered. Melvin's demeanor changes abruptly, becoming defensive and aggressive as he denies the accusations. Despite his attempts to lie and manipulate, Lauren insists that their relationship is over. After hours of tense confrontation, Melvin finally leaves on October 10th. Believing that their breakup has freed her from him for good, Lauren feels a sense of relief. However, the truth is far from that.
She started getting a lot of texts.
Lauren begins receiving a flood of messages from unknown numbers, all claiming to be Melvin's friends. Each message becomes increasingly alarming, leaving Lauren unsure of how to respond. She tells them to stop messaging her and blocks the numbers, but new callers persistently harass her. Lauren threatens to contact the police if the messages continue, but the harassment only escalates. Despite the anonymity, she notices that the messages contain many spelling and grammatical errors similar to those Melvin used. One particularly disturbing text claims that Melvin has died in a car accident and insists that Lauren must attend his funeral on October 12th at 4:23 p.m. Terrified, Lauren contacts the campus police on October 12th, fearing for her safety.
I've been getting these texts from these numbers of different people. They were saying that he was in the hospital, that he passed away. I got a text about, asking if I wanted to go to his funeral, and I think they're trying to lure me somewhere.
All right. I will send this through an officer to give you a call. Is that okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
But no one returns Lauren's calls. As days pass without any update from the police, the texts continue to escalate.
At that point, she had already contacted campus police. It was like, you have to go in person. Saturday, October 13th, we headed to the police department. We went inside. I felt like they weren't taking it seriously. He's a sex offender. He went to jail. And I actually had to Google it myself and hand my phone over to him. I do remember them saying, it's a scam, it's probably a scam. She showed them one of the numbers that was sending her messages was the same number Roland had had when they were in a relationship together. They tell her that the detective was currently not in the office and that Lauren will hear an update by Tuesday.
The case was assigned to Detective Kayla Dallas, who was on vacation at the time. Despite Lauren providing all the concerning details, including Melvin's criminal history, the campus police fail to follow up on her claims and neglect to check his parole status, which could have added urgency to her case. Concerned about the lack of immediate help, Lauren escalates the situation by contacting the Salt Lake City Police Department, hoping they can expedite the investigation.
University Police will probably take the case then, just one sec.
I've talked to them already, but
Okay.
I just wanted to call you as well.
Usually we just take it where you live, and then that agency does a case.
Yeah, I was just concerned because I wasn't sure how long they were going to take.
Okay, let me get you up to them so they can see what's going on with it. Just one moment.
Do you know when an arrest would be made?
You can talk to an officer if you want. I can arrange that if you want that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
The Salt Lake City Police redirect Lauren's callback to campus police, who, despite having been informed over a week earlier, have made no progress on her case. Undeterred, Lauren persists in advocating for her own safety, reaching out to the police more than 20 times since she first revealed Melvin's disturbing past.
She was still being harassed and she was still getting messages. I know she was nervous.
On October 19th, Melvin, who had recently purchased a Deadpool costume, inspired by the year's release of Deadpool 2 starring Ryan Reynolds, was planning to wear it for Halloween. However, 10 days after Lauren ended their relationship, footage shows him lurking around campus in the costume, hiding his identity while stalking Lauren. At 4:02 p.m., Lauren is unaware that her ex-boyfriend is nearby, holding a small black bag that police would later find contains a fully loaded .40 caliber Beretta. 3 days later, on October 22nd, Melvin is again captured by multiple security cameras on campus, searching for Lauren while carrying the same black bag. At 8 p.m. that day, after finishing her last class, Lauren heads back to her dorm alone as usual and calls her mom in Washington State for their regular check-in, discussing their day and updates.
She sounded positive and, telling me that she was going to go home and finish an assignment.
Matthew and Jill, hundreds of miles away, are on speakerphone with Lauren when they suddenly hear strange noises and then someone shouting.
She must have gotten tackled or something because I hear the phone fell to the ground.
We were yelling, "Lauren, Lauren!"
I kept calling for her and she didn't answer. I knew that her life was in danger at that time.
I took the landline and dialed 911.
Hi, my daughter, Lauren McCluskey, was talking to her mom. It sounded like someone might have been grabbing her or something.
We were scrambling, trying to figure out where she might be.
All units attempt to locate a suspect involved in possible kidnapping. The victim is Lauren McCluskey.
After weeks of Lauren's persistent calls, the police finally take her case seriously and urgently begin searching for the missing young woman. They scour the area as quickly as possible, but find nothing. Lauren's parents continue to call the police, and everyone is now actively searching for her. Meanwhile, the authorities receive their first potential lead from a student who has discovered something while walking through campus.
Hi, I just found a whole bunch of stuff spread out all over the ground and a phone that had an active call. I picked it up.
Where is that backpack out? Can you get a location for me?
The police discover Lauren's personal belongings scattered across the ground, but there is no sign of her. Dozens of police cars and K-9 units form a perimeter around the area, while concerned students across campus begin asking questions.
No answers. What were they looking for? What was going on?
There's multiple calls from students wanting what we want students to do.
Campus staff issue a shelter-in-place alert and release a description of the prime suspect, Melvin Rowland, initiating a manhunt. Police broadcast his image on television in hopes that someone will recognize him. With time running out, Lauren remains missing.
I'm calling about my daughter, Lauren McCluskey, that's missing.
We do have officers on scene handling right now. We're actively looking for her. We're doing everything we can to track her down.
Finally, police review security footage and spot a man matching Melvin's description, leaving the campus grounds at 8:21 p.m. Rowland is seen walking away from the parking lot, heading to a nearby light rail station, and then being picked up by a driver. Hours pass with no leads on his whereabouts or activities until later that night, when a terrified woman contacts law enforcement, identifying the man from the television broadcast.
I saw the picture of this guy, and then I saw that he may have been picked up in a silver Sonata, which is like a description of my car. I saw the picture, but the name isn't the same, or the age.
The woman informs police that Melvin, who had assumed a different identity once again, spent the evening with her. They met through an online dating app, and she had picked him up at the train station before they went out to dinner and spent time at her home. After Melvin took a shower at her place, he left around midnight. At 1 a.m., he is spotted by a police officer walking near 200 East and 500 South in downtown Salt Lake City.
I have officers chasing your suspect on the shooting. He is in foot pursuit right now.
Melvin bolts down the sidewalk to evade the police. As officers close in, he escapes by breaking into a nearby church and barricading himself inside. The neighborhood is put on lockdown, leaving everyone in suspense. Suddenly, gunshots ring out. Police swiftly force their way through the large wooden doors, guns drawn. Inside, they find Melvin Rowland's lifeless body.
We have your suspect inside the church. It looks like he has a gunshot wound self-inflicted.
While the police were searching for Melvin, they were also actively looking for Lauren. They found her belongings and searched her dorm, but she was not there. Later that evening, authorities locate the small silver four-door car that Rowland had been driving. Upon inspecting the vehicle, they discover a body inside. Acting swiftly, an officer calls for urgent medical assistance.
We need an ambulance. In the north parking lot. Silver Buick medical.
On the night of October 22nd, Lauren's parents receive a call from the university's track and field coach, delivering the heartbreaking news that no parent ever wants to hear.
And I said, "Is she okay?" And he said, "I'm sorry, she's not. She's gone." I just started crying.
It was like trauma, like getting hit by a baseball bat.
I remember getting a text from Mrs. McCluskey. She said that we lost her. She said that Lauren had been shot. I just remember going outside and just looking up in the stars and just hoping, I just hope you didn't suffer, Lauren, and that you weren't in pain.
Lauren's parents and friends are in disbelief, and the entire school community is stunned. In the days following her passing, the school holds a vigil to mourn the loss of Lauren.
She was an amazing, genuine, and caring person, and she will be really missed.
Matt and Jill McCluskey are stunned by the campus police department's failure to address their daughter's repeated pleas for help. Their cries for assistance seem to have gone unheard. In response to widespread criticism, the university holds a controversial press conference. where the president asserts that campus security could not have prevented Lauren's tragedy.
This report does not
phone call.
Outraged by the university's response and determined to prevent such a tragedy from happening again, Lauren's parents file a lawsuit against the institution. They believe the university failed to protect their daughter and seek to drive reform and create positive change in her name.
I do not want to be in this world without Lauren, but being stuck here, I have no choice but to try to make this world better.
Matthew and Jill McCluskey established the Lauren McCluskey Foundation with the mission of advancing campus reform and improving student safety worldwide.
All the proceeds of this settlement will go to the Lauren McCluskey Foundation. It will make the world better and make the students across the country much safer.
This tragedy has sparked an incredible movement that's captivated communities across
case. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more gripping stories. And as always, stay curious and stay safe.